Whoa, what the hell happened there? Welcome to the Arsenal Show. We are live. And we have to welcome today a star-studded guest. He's none other than Jerome, the voice, Marks. He doesn't want to... When happening. I was trying, Jerome. I was trying to give you a grand entrance. I've got my co-host here tonight with me. It's Steve K. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, how you doing, Kieron? Yeah, I'm good.
All right. I see Glenn in there. Glenn 10. How you doing, Glenn? This team will be the death of me. I swear. Glenn, before the game, my hairline was here. Yeah. After the game, you can see where it is now, and it's all already balding. I'm exhausted after that. I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean, mate. I don't know where it went. I don't know what happened. I'm watching the game. I'm like, oh, what a start. I feel like we're popping it about. I feel like this is it. This is the start we needed after the 0-0 draw, after the international break, the worst interlude that Arsenal could ever have when they're on form. We don't need that interlude. We don't want that. Yeah, we don't need breaks. It was looking good. Then all of a sudden, Arsenal let Crystal Palace into the game. Why do Arsenal always let these teams back into the game when they take the lead? Why do they drop off? Why do they not keep the intensity? All right, I'm going to let other people speak right now before I lose my mind. But before I go ahead, I am going to introduce none other than, drum roll please, people, it's Jerome Marks.
Yay!
Like we'll get you some theme music, like, because you can't just stand there sounding like a minion.
I think the Jaws one's the best, isn't it? Like dum 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 dum, and then and then he just pops up.
I think that entrance intro for me, and then the finish off by Jerome was the perfect analogy of what Arsenal's game was tonight.
Yeah, flat.
The build up, the hype, we got excited, and then da-da, that was it. No boom, 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 boom. It was just da-da. Jerome, tell us about the game. What happened? What happened?
Where'd you start?
Is it just me, or did it feel good at the start?
Yeah, the first maybe 10 minutes was okay. God, we were just terrible, weren't we? Like, I know later on we're probably going to come on to like who was your man of the match. You can't pick one. I think it's impossible. I think it's impossible. I messaged my brother like midway through the first half. I was like, this is pretty open, this game. Like, they had more possession than us. They seemed to have more time on the ball. They seemed to have more options. They were dangerous when they went forward. Benteke, every time Benteke plays against us, we make him look like he's the next best thing. The rest of the season, he'll score one goal for the rest of the season, Benteke. That'll be it. Edouard looked decent, didn't he?
He did.
But the performance was, there we go.
Steve, how do we make Christian Benteke look like Didier Drogba?
It's just one of them things. It happens with every player. They just fancy it when they play against a certain side. And the trouble is with Arsenal, there's too many players who fancy playing us on certain days. And Christian Benteke was one of them. And here's me, speaking on the preview show and worrying about Wilfried Zaha. There he is, not even on the pitch. There's me sort of getting sort of all comfortable in my seat, and my shoulders are rising. I'm going, this is going to be a nice night. This is going to be a nice 3 or 4-0. And now I'm sitting here talking about the great Christian Benteke, who was smashing us all over the place. It was an absolute terrible performance. I think we was okay right up until the goal, and then absolutely nothing. And then it was all Crystal Palace. And you've got to give them their full dues. And we didn't deserve the draw. We did not deserve to draw. We deserved to lose that game tonight, in my opinion.
Yeah, what I don't understand is it started off looking good, and then all of a sudden, it wasn't as if the whole team played bad all at the same time. It was almost as if every player wanted to have their own go at being absolutely garbage. Like Tomiyasu was not good at all tonight for me. He wasn't good at all tonight. The curse of the player of the month, I don't know what it was, but it was. Gallagher had him on toast, but Gallagher had quite a few of our players running scared. The pressure that he put on our players seemed to buckle, and I couldn't understand it. Every time he was pressing us, we buckled every single time. I'm not worried by that performance. It's frustrating because I feel that although Crystal Palace were good, I think Arsenal could have won that game, even though we were poor. I think we could have snuck something. We just didn't. We weren't good enough. Enough people weren't good enough. Odegaard was awful. I think that's the worst I've seen him play. I was very impressed with Aubameyang. I can't really dig out Aubameyang from that because he was harrying. He was chasing down. He got his goal. I just don't think there was any real support after that in the second half. I think we went flat in that second half, and Crystal Palace are a team that does come out in the second half. We've seen the stats there. They did what everyone expects them to. But let's get on to the player ratings. Steve, we'll start off with you. Aaron Ramsdale.
I thought Aaron Ramsdale was our only shining light. I thought he made some very good saves. I'm not a goalkeeper. Again, I say it often, you're the goalkeeper, Kieron, but I had no idea what that geezer was talking about when he said he could have stopped that and he should have been over more in the middle. I mean,
I'll get to that in a minute.
I just don't know what planet these people are on.
Honestly.
Does he actually get paid for doing this job? You know, I mean, I'm sitting there watching it, and there's this guy said, "Oh, I've got to call Ramsdale into question again." Yeah. I mean, I was like, again?
No,
he's just made 3 worldies, and you're blaming him for that. And I watched it. I had to watch it in the replay, and I watched it again, and I was like, "Can he stop?" Like, and the geezer started going. I don't know. Then it was a tad. Maybe it was a tad.
Yeah.
And he's from being an absolute disaster. It was Ramsdale. His words started going, and eventually it was a 3-word tad. But basically, the geezers ain't got a clue. Yeah. But Ramsdale, I thought, was our only shining light. He's going to get my biggest marks of the night so far. I'm going to give him 7.
Okay. All right. I'll come in after you, Jerome. Jerome, what was your thoughts on Aaron Ramsdale?
Yeah, I'll go along with Steve. Yeah, probably our best player, 7. That save on half time was quality, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think he punched. Was it a corner or he came and punched a corner, and then got back in position and dived to his left for that save from Gallagher.
Yeah, and he made a couple as well. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. You can't for him. A couple of really nice passes as well out from the back, like through the middle of the pitch.
Yeah.
You can't fault the keeper. And also, he showed his passion again, didn't he? A couple of times. You can't fault him.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of love for Aaron Ramsdale. No, as a keeper, I will stand there and say easy targets. Goalkeepers are easy targets for when you've got nothing else to say. Let's just look at the goalkeeper. If it goes anywhere down the middle, down near post, or anything like that, it's the goalkeeper. But like, it's absolute nonsense. Like you said, he's going, "Oh, I had to look at the goalkeeper there." Why? Because it looked like it went down the middle from your angle. Well, first of all, mate, it didn't. Second of all, he absolutely wrapped his foot around that. Like, he rifled that. He rifled it from the edge of the area. And it wasn't even down the middle. It was to his left. He whipped it round and he was unsighted by the player as well. So absolute nonsense. I don't want to hear nothing about the goalkeepers tonight. Absolute rubbish. Arteta really needed his attackers. He certainly did, Glenn. He certainly did. And in the end, I think he had 5 on the pitch in the end. Tomiyasu. We'll start off with you, Jerome. What was you thinking of Tomiyasu today?
Maybe a 5. He does some things that look bang average, doesn't he? He wasn't the worst, but he didn't have the best of games. I don't know. Sometimes he looks like he looks a bit awkward on the ball. Sometimes, like he can't get his feet. Like either the ball gets stuck under his feet, or he can't work his feet out properly. Look, he's not like he's not the most technically gifted right back that you're going to see, but he had a bad game, didn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll give him a 5.
5. All right, Steve, what are you giving Tomiyasu?
Tomiyasu, yeah, he didn't have one of his best, did he?
No.
But I didn't think he was awful. You know, there were things and that I can remember that he did well. He got in a few good tackles. He made a fantastic. He shielded off. I think it was Benteke for a ball in the second half, which was a great bit of defending. But he also was very rash through the whole game, and he sort of like I think he still needs to be drawn in a little bit. He just goes a bit Colo Torre for me at sometimes. Just goes a bit crazy, and you need him to stop. But he didn't have one of his best.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was awful, but I would say like a high 5. But yeah, a 5.
For me, Tomiyasu, the reason why I said he was awful was because he made too many mistakes. Not necessarily about his general gameplay, but I think he was sloppy in a couple of times. He was caught off. He was caught off guard holding the ball too long at some points. A couple of bad touches. He just didn't have. I just don't think he had a good game today. Yeah, we can. He does a couple of all right things, but when your defense. When your defenders are making silly mistakes or getting caught on the ball, it builds the confidence of the attackers, and that's the last thing you need. And I'd probably say he was probably the only one of the back four that I can remember that was doing that kind of thing. And you need to have solidarity across the whole of the back four. And as soon as there's a little chink in the armour, people start to get more confidence. And I think that didn't help us today. Especially, he's not going to get too much help down that right wing from Pepe on the defensive side, and I don't think he helped Pepe that much going forward. Steve, Ben White.
Again, like most of the defenders tonight, wasn't one of his best games. I mean, if anybody was at fault for the second goal, I mean, Ben White was backing off like a good note. He was backing off, backing him off. And, when he should have just been standing there. And the more he backed off, the closer White was getting to the goal. And I was like, stop, because he's going to shoot in a minute. And eventually he got to the sort of the edge of the penalty area. And then he shot and he whacked it in the back of the net. And I'm looking, I said, he could have stopped him 5 yards before that. So he didn't cover himself in glory tonight, Ben White. Again, he did a couple of good things, but he didn't make any telling balls. You've seen him play balls out from the back before that's led into attacks. He didn't really do that tonight. I can't give him more than a 5.
Yeah. I do remember a nice run that he made in the first half. I think it was
out to the left.
Yeah. Which at that point I was still thinking, oh, this could be a good game today. And then obviously I'm gonna give him the assist for the goal. So yeah, Jerome, Steve, you got him 5. Jerome, what are you giving Ben White?
I think we'll come on to Gabriel in a bit, but I don't think the two centre-backs were too bad. I think they had no protection in front of them. He maybe could have done better for Edouard's goal, but I thought he was okay. Ben White, I'll give him like Steve, a high 5 or a 6. I don't think the centre-backs were too bad, but they just every time Palace attacked, they were just through on the defence, weren't they? They didn't have to beat the midfield. It was just one ball and that was it. They were through.
Yeah. I think I'll bump up Ben White's to a 6.
I knew that was coming.
Gabriel. Sorry.
Yeah,
Right.
probably maybe the better of the two. I can't remember him making too many glaringly obvious mistakes.
He's consistent. At the moment, he's very consistent. I'm not seeing too many mistakes in general, like mistakes. That's why, for me, Tomiyasu today, it was a bit stand out because I was seeing silly mistakes, losing the ball. But I can't really remember too much of that from the defenders.
Nah. Maybe you could give Gabriel a 7, perhaps.
Conceded 2 goals.
You can't. The thing is, like, teams can concede a couple of goals. Defenders can still have a half decent game.
Yeah, but you give them what you want.
Yeah, I can't remember him doing too much wrong. And I'm really thinking hard. Yeah, I'll give him a 7.
All right, Steve, what are you giving Gabriel?
Yeah, I agree with Jerome that he was the better of the two tonight. He was he was getting his headers away from corners. He's very, very good in the air. Is Gabriel? he could have helped. He could have helped Ben White out on the same situation that we just talked about for the goal. You could say he could have come out. He could have met him as well. But he just stayed on the line of the penalty area. Picketing really on that one. He was the better of the two, and he seems to be consistent. And I'd give him a 6, though I wouldn't probably go as high as a 7.
Yeah, I'll probably agree with Steve. Only because I'm just going to struggle to give anyone 7s today, apart from maybe 1 or 2. But again, not terrible. I don't think. I'm trying to think back. I don't think we played awful. I think there was too many individual at too long a time in the game, which was frustrating. Kieron Tierney. Felt you, Steve.
I thought Kieron Tierney did all right. I thought he played quite well. I don't remember any glaring mistakes from him. I don't remember much coming from his side. There was a time where the right back of Palace got a good cross in, but I think that was just sometimes you got to hold your hands up and say, he's the guy's done well and he got in a good cross. Yeah. But apart from that, I don't remember any of the danger coming from Dan Tierney's side. And okay, he didn't do a lot going forward, but the 1 or 2 times that he did, he looked quite dangerous. And he probably was for me out of the 4 defenders tonight. I probably would say he was the best. And even though I'm still going to give him a 6, the same as Gabriel.
I'm just trying to think. Why was it he couldn't get? Because he was trying. He was trying to get down that left, but I can't remember him having too much support or too many options to cross the ball into. I think Crystal Palace dealt well with blocking his angles quite a few times because I remember him having to drop the ball back in or turn back in because he didn't have the option. So again, as you said, sometimes yes. Arsenal aren't quite doing it, but sometimes you have to give credit to the other team and the way they've defended or the way they've shut out our key attackers. Because it's quite obvious sometimes. Well, with us, who has our attacking threats, just on their day, you just can't stop them. Jerome, what have you given Kieron Tierney?
Honestly, I don't think Tierney had a great game. I think he's because of the way he plays. After even before an hour, he just looks like he can't move. For me, he's when he gets the ball, you can see he looks like he's shattered and he just wants to give it back, just give the easy ball. looks a bit negative. And yeah, if this is, I thought one of the subs, I thought he would have bought on the Tavares for Tierney, because I just think he looks shattered, and I think it's a worry because he seems to be shattered every game. And if Tierney's not bombing on, offering you that extra attack, that extra sort of attacker, his threat in the game isn't fantastic. So I'm a little bit worried with Tierney. I know everyone loves him and he's done brilliantly since he's come here, but he either needs to work on his fitness, or you'll notice it a lot more going forward that he won't have such a major impact on this team. That's my thought on it.
Do you think that's because he'll obviously be playing for Scotland? He'll be playing both games. He'll be putting it in, as you said, 100% in his training sessions. He's putting in 100%. Do you think he needs to sort of save himself for game time? Relax a little bit.
I think this is who he is. This is how he plays, and
so
look, there's no European football, so it's not as if this is the best it's going to be in terms of number of games, low number of games. He's always going to have international football. He's always going to have the Premier League. He's going to have the cup competitions. It's just there's no Europe. So I'm a bit worried with Tierney. I like him, but I think he came to us and he impressed so much. I don't think he's really pushed on. And I think just this fitness issue, every time he goes in for a tackle, I'm scared that he's gonna go in so hard, he's going to injure himself.
Are you expecting more from Tierney because of what you saw when he first came, or are you just not overly impressed as what other people have been?
I think a bit of both. I think people love the
passion.
I think people went over the top. I think people went over the top from the beginning. I said it right from the off that people went right over the top from the beginning. It was like Tierney's unbelievable. He's the world's best left back. Where it could have been more wrong because he was nowhere near it.
Yeah, his defensive throughout his last season and the season before were quite clear to see for anyone who actually wanted to see the game.
I don't know if you agree. Like I totally agree with what Jerome says about Tierney when he's not getting forward and that's his game. And again tonight he didn't do it. But when you've got just Thomas Partey sitting as a lone DM, if you like, then surely you're not going to want Tierney's not going to be able to go forward because you've got like 5 forward players in front of Thomas Partey who are doing all the creating, who are doing the attacking, and who've got all the flair. You're not going to add because Tommy Ayew don't get forward anyway. It seems hardly tonight, and it seems that Tommy Ayew and Kieron Tierney seem to be more sitting back as defenders now, especially when we play that one player as the DM. So what's worrying for me with Kieron Tierney is that we're not going to use Kieron Tierney's tools or what he's best at because of that. And Arteta's got to try and work way around it where we can get the best out of Kieron Tierney, and that's going forward, getting down that wing and getting crosses in.
Yeah, what I've seen from Tierney before, which he's just, I think he's not far off it, but I think that the defensively we have changed slightly. Tommy Ayew, as you said, doesn't get us forward as much, but what he does do is he tends to tuck in a little bit, which gives Kieron Tierney the freedom to push forward, but we still haven't got that sort of width that he's had previously. I don't know, it's because people are much more wise to it, know that he's a real threat, but I do genuinely think that Crystal Palace tonight nullified anything that Tierney had. Every time he got forward, it seemed like they were shutting off the angles. He didn't. I don't feel like he had the option to cross, and when they did, the crosses, from what I can remember, them crosses, a lot of them were coming in early. Or whether that was Martinelli when he's on there, whether that was Tierney crossing it in, I just felt that a lot of the crosses were coming in early because they couldn't get past the fullback. So, Jerome, what were you giving Tierney?
Maybe a 5.
All right, Kieron Tierney gets a 5.
Being tough tonight.
Thomas Partey, game of 2 hours for him, it felt like.
Oh, dear me. I think we're going to have to leave. I think this one's going to have to left to the Arsenal show because there's something not right.
I'll tell you what.
Me, anyway, there's something. Go on, mate.
I'll tell you what. Sorry to
no, go
interrupt. Not only with Partey, but with a lot of our players, our coaches. You can have all the coaching badges and go on all the courses you like. You need to tell these players you do not have as much time on the ball as what you think. You're playing in the Premier League. There's people going to be coming at you from left, right, and centre. These people think they've got all the time in the world, like it's a practice game. Like it happened with Lokonga, got caught on the ball for the second goal. Like this is like basic stuff. This isn't like you don't need to read any big coaching manuals for this. It seems as though our players think that they got all the time in the world to pick their pass. Like someone needs to tell them that they don't have this amount of time. I'm not saying rush, but just be aware. And our players aren't aware. And that is a massive.
And for me, it's the sloppiness. I can't understand
they
why.
Must know. They must know. Surely they know what the Premiership's like. I mean, Thomas Partey now has been here a season and a bit. And let's say how he is. He's for me, he's been poor. Yeah, I can't help it.
Today? What did you think for today?
He's been mega poor.
No, today.
And he's had the odd good game. Yeah, I don't. As I say, I don't want to go into like thingies, but today, Thomas Partey is not a defensive midfield player, right? He's not a defensive midfield player, right? That's for one. When it was in the first half, first thing that came into my head is that he's not a DM because he wasn't playing like a DM. He didn't look like a DM, so for me, he was playing out of position. So I'll give him that, right? He misses Xhaka like an hole in the head, right? That stands out a mile, right? I'd get rid of Xhaka tomorrow if someone came in. But someone tells me that I'm dying now for him to get back in the side. But this ain't about Granit Xhaka. This is about Thomas Partey, yeah? This guy on his day can be a world-class footballer. We're not using him in the right way, similar to Kieron Tierney. We're playing him as a DM. He's not a DM, right? If that's the case, then we've got to get someone in January if Xhaka's not fit. But tonight, I didn't think he played well at all. He was trying. He was getting around the pitch, but his passing was off, shooting was off, and he made the mistake for the goal. And the thing is with Thomas Partey, I know what he can do. And that's when I criticise players the most. I criticise players the most when I know what they can do. That's why I would criticise Aubameyang, why I would criticise Tierney, when I would criticise Mesut Ozil, or these type of players when I know they can do a lot more than what they can. And there's something not right. I don't know what Jerome said it. I think it was last season. He said, this ain't the Thomas Partey that came to Atletico Madrid. He said, I think Jerome said it. But tonight, look, for another time this. But tonight I didn't think he played well. I think he missed Granit Xhaka. I thought he was playing in the wrong position. And look, he lost the midfield battle to Crystal Palace. So that says it all. I don't want to get. I don't want to give him. I'm going to give him a 5 because he was playing in the wrong position. He was out of position, and I'm going to give him a break. So I'm going to say a 5.
All right, Jerome. What are you giving?
Yeah, I think I'm massively guilty of this, and I think we've got carried away by it that we want to see while Jack is out of midfield of Partey, Odegaard, and Smith Rowe. And I think that it seems nice, and in reality, I don't think it works. I think next to Partey, you need to have someone that just sits really. Maybe that's why he misses Xhaka. I think that's why the signing of Bissouma was so obvious to make, because then you've got a proper centre midfield pairing. I think that having Odegaard and a couple of lightweight players around Partey doesn't help him. He needs a big physical bloke next to him in the centre of the pitch. Otherwise, like you saw tonight, he's on his own. And that's why Palace had so much space. They had so much possession in the midfield because they're playing against players, Odegaard, Smith Rowe. They're brilliant players in terms of what they do, but they're not central midfielders really, are they? Suited to play in the league. And I think we've got carried away that we want to see because it seems nice and attacking. And in reality, I don't think it's going to work. And I think maybe tonight, Arteta might have thought, you know what, I need to give this a second thought because it's not working.
He's got to buy someone, Jerome. He's got to buy someone because there's no one at the club.
I said in the summer they needed to sign at least two top draw centre midfielders, and they haven't done it. They've bought Lokonga, who might be okay in the future.
He's not ready.
He's not ready now. Like when we played United away, I know that's just one game last season. I think last season when we beat them 1-0. Was it last season we beat them 1-0? And he had El Nene next to him. Now El Nene ain't the greatest player, but he maybe allowed Partey to get a bit further forward. But nah, Partey no good tonight, and he's half the player that he was at Madrid. I don't know, 5 tonight. He weren't great.
I don't think Arteta is would think anything other than Thomas Partey needs a Granit Xhaka next to him or a bully next to him, which is the reason why he brings Granit Xhaka in as soon as he's fit. I think a lot of people maybe dismiss what Xhaka might bring on the pitch because he does have his moments, and his moments are quite often. But it's easy to look at that. I think I spoke. I don't even know where I spoke about. I might have spoken about it with my dad. But it was that conversation where it was like people want the pretty player rather than the right player. That they want the name player rather than the player who's going to actually do the job. And that's not just us. That's many fans around that are looking for that prima donna ballerina midfield as opposed to the Bosches in there that you need to do and going to do the rugged and dirty work. Going to break up play and allow other players to do what they want to do. Look, I genuinely don't think there was too much of that people were thinking, this team could do it without Xhaka, because everyone was worried as soon as Xhaka went out because the midfield was light. Like that was the general feeling. What I was feeling, or that I'd seen around, was that not just because Xhaka had a really good game in the North London derby, it's because you could actually see there they're a good partnership, and there's options as well. So yeah, I thought Partey had his moments where he was looking half decent in the first half, but then after that it just collapsed, and I don't know why it did collapse, but yeah, it's a bit frustrating because I can see glimpses, but it's just it's never seems to be the full 90. Martin Odegaard, Steve.
Yeah, no, again, it wasn't his best night, was it? I mean, first 15, 20 minutes, I was thinking, well, this is going to be a good night for Odegaard. He was getting his foot in, the pressing. But one of the first thing, in the first 30 minutes, I thought Arsenal's pressing was fantastic. They was up for it. They looked on it. They was closing down. And then all of a sudden, how do you just stop?
I know, that's what I'm saying.
How do you just think, I'm not going to do that no more? Where is... This is what I'm talking about. They've got to be knackered, haven't they?
They've got to be knackered.
This is why I worry about the mentality of the club and the people inside the club. I mean, the worrying thing now, we're starting to get new players in, and they seem to be doing the same thing. They're just tiring out. They're tiring out. There's players in there who haven't got the engine for 90 minutes. And Odegaard was one of them tonight. As I say, he ran his nuts off for 20 minutes. I thought, wow, you're brilliant so far. You're not making chances. You're not playing through balls. No, you're not. But you're pressing. You're getting back. You're getting tackles in. You know, we're seeing that Martin Odegaard that we want to play when he's at number 8 and he's getting stuck in. You know, he did it a few times, you know. And he, you know, maybe, and I don't think he should have come off. I think it was the wrong substitution, but it wasn't his best. Again, another 5.
For me, Odegaard was getting involved in the first 20, but I want to see Odegaard put some through balls. I want to see Odegaard making the team tick. I want to see Odegaard being the puppet master and pulling strings. Yeah, you can, and there's no reason why you can't have both in the game. If we talk about some of the best players in the world, they do have both. They have that bite, and they can go after winning the tackle, go bosh, 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 1, 2, 3. You've got a chance on goal. I think Odegaard's got plenty of time, and he needs to find that balance of being able to do that, and he could be a top class player. But today, I can see. I personally can see why he came off, because I just didn't even see him on the pitch after a while. After that first 15-20, when Arsenal started to lose it, I just don't even remember Odegaard playing. And then the next thing I know, he had a couple of bad touches and was taken off. So I think it's probably more the fact that he's just had lack of impacts in the game. And when you've got someone like that on the pitch, it can come across as like you're carrying them if they're not pulling strings, and that's what he's there for ultimately. So Jerome, what did you give Odegaard?
Yeah, I think Kieron, you're right in your assessment about him not, you know, if he's not impacting the game, then, you know, in the nicest way possible, then, you know, might as well have someone else on the pitch instead of him. Not his greatest game. But I think, you know, you could see when he was getting the ball, he was trying to make things happen. He was trying to see if he could spot a pass, but it just didn't work out for him. Again, poor game. Probably another 5, to be honest.
Yeah, Odegaard.
Yeah, striker.
A lot of 5s going around. Nicholas Pepe. Steve.
Oh, he's frustrating, isn't he? He's frustrating. Yeah. Sometimes he looks the worst player on the planet, and other times he looks unplayable. And that's what I was looking at tonight. But I was thinking, do we persist with this?
I think we should. Because I don't think he's a player. I don't think he's a player that can have a break. And I'm going to put.
He's had a lot.
He's had a lot of time off. Go on, Steve. Go on, jump in. I'll come afterwards.
No, I'm getting worried now that we said that we want to see him play 10, 15 games, didn't we? Mm-hmm. And then we wanted to decide after that.
Yeah.
For me, the games are running out. You know, I need to start seeing things now. Mm-hmm. It's still too on and off for me. Like I said, that 1 minute he's unplayable, next minute he looked absolutely awful.
Yeah.
We need someone. We need a steady performer. You know, playing every week, even if they're not got the skills or can bend balls in the top corner like Pepe can. We need someone consistent, someone who goes out there every week and he gets a 7. And I'm worried. That's what I'm worried about with Pepe. I've got no doubts about his skill. Got no doubts about what he can do. But I'm beginning now to get a lot of doubts now about his consistency. But because for me, I gave him 15 games. We're probably on about 8 or 9 now, and for me, he's still on that level, same level. I want to see him up it. I'm actually right. I will keep him going, but again, he got the cross to the goal. I think it was probably a bit of a up and under. He didn't really know what he was doing when he crossed it, but he crossed it. But again, I have to give a 5, mate.
And let's also not forget that he got the assist for the first goal after the shot. I think what it was with Pepe for me is I see him as one of them players who is that he could have 10 runs on a defender in a game and he gets six wins out of him and 1 will turn to a goal. But in the rest of the game, he's going to trip over his own feet. He's going to go and touch the ball. It's going to bounce off his shins. But it's so frustrating. He's so frustrating. But
yeah,
I can't look past the fact that if you look at his numbers match up to what you would class as good stats. He got an assist tonight. He caused them a lot of trouble in certain points, but he needs to sort out his touch. His touch is killing him, like absolutely killing him. Like it's and it must be frustrating for people around him as well. Like if I'm a striker and I see my winger, look, he's only got to take on one man. You see this geezer, he has people on toast every single day in training, and then he trips over his own feet. Or the pass that goes to him, it bounces off his foot and goes off for a throw. Like that's got to be frustrating for your teammates around you. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do I say about Pepe? Go on, Jerome.
On like one of the Arsenal like WhatsApp lists that I'm on, probably the most talked about topic is Pepe in terms of what people think of him. My whether you like him or not, my prediction with Pepe is, I know people say he needs a run of games or give him a bit of time. I think the level that Pepe is playing at now, we're not going to see anything better from him. This is who Pepe is. He's the most inconsistent, probably the most inconsistent player. I don't know if even inconsistent is the word, but this is his level. Pepe. He'll make loads of mistakes during a game, and he might bend one in the top corner. So it just depends if you're happy with that sort of player on the side. I can't think of a game apart from maybe the cup final where he's had a really good game. He doesn't have a really good game. He might do something. He might do something very good in the game, and that's it. And for me, if you have him in the team with Aubameyang, you've got two players that will probably not contribute anything in terms of build up and link play, but they might nick you a goal. And it depends if you're happy with that. And I think for us long term, I don't think it's any good. And I'll be super surprised if they end up giving him a new contract based on what we've seen. But at the same time, I don't think there's going to be any buyers for him at a price that we'd accept. So I think this could be another one where I think there's more chance of them extending his contract than them selling him, because I don't think anyone's going to buy him. I don't think he's done enough to justify someone coming in and splashing big money on him.
I agree with what you're saying. I'd see him given a contract because they don't want to lose out on money. I don't necessarily think it's a horrendous thing, but there are other players probably out there that are probably more consistent with his kind of skill set in the way that he is. Because I think every team needs a Pepe type player. Every team strives to get a Pepe, a Sancho, a Mahrez, a Mane. Like you could go through a Zaha. You can go through every team. Every team has at least one. But how much does that geezer contribute? I totally agree with what you're saying, Jerome. It's moments with Pepe, and he needs to be consistent throughout the match, not just game by game. But you can see moments in the game today that when he does have the ball, he has people on the back foot, and he can take people on, and he can create something. And as I said, he set up that first goal from a very opened up, had a very good shot, keeper saved it, and Aubameyang put it in the back of the net. So, yeah, if you're talking about getting assists and getting the numbers up, he's always got something to fall back on.
He needs to be in very specific positions of the pitch to be dangerous, Pepe.
That's not final third. The final third.
It's not. Yeah, it's literally, you could probably draw a square around it. It's like, I can see it in my head, the position on the pitch. If he's
edge of the box opens up.
Yeah, edge of the box, that little circle. Right. Get him the ball there. Not with loads of players in front of him, but like where there's a bit of space, it'll be okay. Anywhere else on the pitch is no good. I think they've made a horrendous mistake with that transfer. Unbelievable. One of my mates messaged saying it's what they did with that transfer. It's like going into McDonald's saying, "How much is that burger?" They say it's £1, and for no apparent reason, you say, "Okay, I'll give you £100 for it."
Saka, first of all, Yellow card, red card. What was it?
I don't remember too much about it. No, I don't think it was a red
All I
card.
know is James McCarthy's a dirty. I won't swear out
yeah.
loud,
But he's always that's
he's
him, isn't it?
always
He's
like
always.
that. That's him.
I was saying to my missus that, like, you know, when that tackle happened, I was telling him, like, how I used to be on the football. I said, if that was me, I said 10 minutes now I'd have him in the stand. I said, I'll see Patrick Vieira there. Right, I said 5 minutes, right? If we had him on the pitch, MacArthur, see where he'd be? He'd be in the stand.
He'd be wrapped
You know,
around
and that's
a
the type.
toothpick, mate.
That's right. They're the type of players you need at Arsenal Football Club. And we've only got one, and he's injured, right? And people have a go at him because he's silly. But sometimes you need someone to stick up for your mates. But just going back to say, I didn't think he played well tonight. For the time he was on, he got an injury, so he didn't have time to really come out and, turn around his, the way he started the game, which I thought was a little bit nothing. He was just running around there. They had him tied up. They had a couple of men on him, and I can't give him a 6. I don't think I can't go 4 because he wasn't on the pitch long enough. So I'm going to have to go 5 again.
Yeah. Jerome, what are you giving Saka? Little chilly.
How that isn't a red card? I mean, if you're just allowed to smash a player's legs, then I don't understand like the rules of this game anymore. I'm not saying it because I'm a biased Arsenal fan, but it's the most obvious red card you're going to see. He had no intention of kicking the ball, and if you've played football and you understand the game, then you can see, exactly what the player knows he can get away with it because he can use the excuse, the ball's in the air and I could see it coming down on my foot. And you can see where the ball is in the air. It's a blatant red card. You can't do that. He knew what he was doing, and it went to VAR, and that makes it even worse.
Can I just say that crosswise, I'm thinking about a totally different tackle. that was an 100% red card.
The kick to the back of the calf. The kick to the back of the calf.
Smashed his
what
legs.
I don't understand from MacArthur, because look, I could understand if MacArthur was going to kick the ball, but the ball was nowhere near MacArthur.
No, exactly.
And that's why I didn't understand. I didn't understand because the movement of what MacArthur was doing very much seemed like it was an accident. It seemed like he's gone to kick the ball and Saka's got in the way. Yeah. But they're standing there. And he's just gone clumping the back of his calf. Now, are we ever going to see a red card like that for that? I doubt it. I think that would have had to go VAR for that to go to a red card.
Yeah, it did. It did go to VAR. I think I saw that it went. People in the VAR had a look at it.
Oh, is it? Well,
they did.
Who's that geezer? Who is the ref tonight? I can't remember his name, but I don't like him.
Well, they're saying he went for the ball. They're saying he went for the ball, missed the ball, and took him out. That was the reason why he wasn't a red card.
Oh, these people don't understand football. There was Mike Dean.
Mike Dean and Andre Mariner are the two referees I hate refereeing Arsenal games. Yeah, I just don't like them. Emil Smith Rowe.
I won't go on too much about him, but he needs. There's some things of Emil Smith Rowe's game that he's very, very good at. Very, very good. But there's some things of his games that he's very, very awful at, or he's very, very average at. But he's young.
He needs to work on that final ball.
And he needs to work on the final ball. He needs to work on his getting back. He gets tired too easy, and his shooting's not great. I mean, what he is good at is running at the ball. We know what he's good at. I mean, tonight, with tonight, some of his sort of things that he's not very good at showed out. But this is tonight. This is tonight's game. We're talking about night. We're not saying Emil Smith Rowe's a bad player. We're saying on tonight's performance, you wasn't doing enough of what you're good at, and the things that you was bad at, we could see that you need to improve on.
Mm-hmm.
Again, mate, 5.
Jerome, I know it's one of your faves.
Yeah,
Is this very much a typical performance of a team that's full of potential, and we're going to have these days, and Smith Rowe's are going to have these days?
well, we hope it's full of potential. We'll wait and see. I think the fact that we didn't have a lot of the ball tonight didn't help your players like Odegaard and Smith Rowe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a player like Smith Rowe needs probably someone else in the midfield next to Partey. I think maybe that's shown tonight. Also with Smith Rowe, I know it's nice to be versatile, but I think Wenger used to like doing this, playing players in a couple of different positions. For me, put a player in a position and let him play there, learn that position and become amazing in that position. Not good in this position and good in this position, but brilliant in one particular position. You didn't see through like Ryan Giggs' career in play up front and in centre midfield. He did that right near the end of his career when he was getting on. He was a left midfielder. That's where he played. Beckham, he was a right midfielder. That's where he played. Stop putting players in all these different positions because it's all good training and stuff, but the game is 90 minutes on the 11-a-side pitch, and you've got to get used to playing in a certain position. I don't think it's any good, all this chopping and changing positions, but that's just me. I'm old school.
No, I agree. I agree with Jerome. I totally agree with, if we had Emil Smith Rowe doing what he's good at and doing that all the time, he would improve on that. If you're asking him to play in all these different positions all the time, you're not going to get the full potential, and he's not going to improve on what he's already very, very good at, which is running at players and frightening the life out of defenders. If you're asking him to move, run back, defend, get in the box and score goals, which we're telling him he has to do, just due to the fact that because our front players were absolutely dire, at the moment over the last 12 games. I mean, just because like a couple of them scored tonight, they're not getting a pass what they've done over the last 20 games. Then we would see, like Jerome said, we would see the best of Smith Rowe, and I couldn't agree more. Yeah, just play him in that position and let him learn and let him get better and let him come on the Arsenal greats.
What you giving him ratings?
Like I'm going to give one of Steve's high five, I think.
Yeah.
Just let you know, these high fives, low tens, high sixes, they mean nothing to me. 5's a 5, all right? That's how I roll.
Right.
Pierre-Emerick
Aubameyang. Steve, we'll start with you.
Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. First half, he was on his way to an 8. He was absolutely incredible that first half. I thought he was running back, he was chasing back, he was popping up at the left back position, winning balls back, and then he was running up the other end, creating danger in the offensive area. He scored an absolute wonderful goal, and I thought, wow, he's going to get an 8 off me tonight. And in the second half, I didn't even know he was on the pitch, and it was like he stopped, just like all the others did. So all of a sudden they just sort of seemed to put on the, put the shutters down and said, right, that's it for tonight, boys. Boom. And everybody just stopped playing. But, as I said, on the first half, I thought he was good. I thought he looked sharp. I thought he looked dangerous. He scored a fantastic goal. I was looking forward to a really good performance, for the whole 90 minutes from Pierre. But it just sort of just panned out into nothing in the end. But probably a lot to do with the people. He was not getting the service. That wasn't happening. Our midfield was tiring. Our flair players, creative players were tiring. So we could always say that. But on his first half performance, he got his goal. He was really played well. And I don't think the second half was too much down to him for the way he played. So I'm going to give Pierre 7 tonight.
Yeah. Jerome?
Maybe maybe a 6. His finish was brilliant. Like considering it's so early on in the game, tight angle. Made it look really easy, didn't he? And we know that sort of finish isn't easy. Done a lot of like running around, like looked quite busy, like chasing down. His just general passing and link up play is so bad. It's like a bit funny. And
it got better when Lacazette came on though.
Yeah, he done one ball. I don't know if he meant it. There was a ball where he played through and Lacazette tried to curl it.
Did it look like he
give
tried
him
to
some
go
credit,
around
Jerome? Give him some credit.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Do you know what I mean?
He was trying to go the other way, and
Yeah,
he
yeah.
didn't put enough on
He
the
mishit
pass.
it.
Just
He
went
mishit
past.
it.
No,
Yeah.
that's brilliant. No, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Also, if you're going to do your hair like that, you got to score a hat trick, haven't you?
It was awful, wasn't it?
He done it last time, didn't he? He had an absolute mare, and he cut it off.
Yeah.
And
I think it'll be.
My missus went, what the hell is that? And I went like, have I missed something on the pitch? Someone's done a bad pass, and he just went, I went, what happened? She went, that hair.
He
What
can
is
do
this
that.
that?
He can do that, but you got to be scoring a hat trick if you're having your hair like that.
It's the hair. I can't deal with the hair bands. For me, I am going to go off Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's first half performance because I thought it was very, very good. I thought the goal was very good finish.
Yeah.
Excellent harrying and chasing, which is what I want more of Aubameyang, because if you are going to be a centre forward, that's what you got to do. You can't just be a centre forward and just be like, oh, he's not getting service. Oh, he's not getting. No, you have to work hard, because sometimes in games as a centre forward, you've got to make your own service. You've got to shut down players and you've got to put the pressure on. They're going to make mistakes. You're going to win throws, corners, whatever, free kicks. It's going to happen. Like, I don't know many forwards out there that tell me that they get great service every game, and then every single goals they've scored is because it's been passed through from pillar to post through 10 players. Like, it just doesn't happen like that. And I do genuinely feel that the downfall of Aubameyang's game in that second half was part and parcel down to everyone else was pretty tush throughout. I mean, from Tierney onwards, everyone else has got a 5. So whoever is meant to be supporting Aubameyang around there was trash, based on what we're saying. So I can't really expect Aubameyang to be too much better than that. I think he looked sharper when Lacazette come on, which probably says a bit more about partnerships and link-up plays and playing to his strengths. But he got his goal, and I'd like to see more of what I saw today from Aubameyang, and I can't really dig him out because I dug him out last week for not scoring, and he scored a goal, and he done exactly what I wanted him to do when he was chasing down players. So yeah, I got given to him this week. Sambi Lokonga. Steve, we have to.
I'll run through him quick. I didn't think he played. I thought he was awful when he came on. Not an easy game to come into. It's not like he was going to come on and sort of all of a sudden make party play well. I mean, he's young man still. I've got to give Lokonga. So I give it a 5. I've got to give Lokonga a 4.
Okay, Jerome, what are you giving Lokonga?
I'll probably stick with my 5s. I think it was obviously he got caught on the ball, didn't he, for their second goal. Again, like where do these players think they're playing? Like
5 sides down goals.
Like, hello, is anyone there? Like, wake up! Like, you're going to have players around you. Like, be aware. These I don't get it.
Right.
Doesn't seem to happen to any other teams. It only seems to happen to us. I see a lot of pressure on, there's a lot of pressure on him, bringing him into, I don't know. I don't think he was great. No, he tried to keep it sort of ticking over, keep it simple, but
yeah, he's trying. He's got a decent range of passing. It just wasn't his game when he came on today. As I think Jerome said, Crystal Palace on their any time we play Crystal Palace are a tough team to play because they're disciplined. They know what they're about, and they put that on us. Like they put pressure on us when they can kick us. They kick us. They do it. Yeah. And Lokonga was going to always come into a game where as soon as he came on, they were going to put the pressure on. So every touch, on his first touch, on his second touch, they were always going to be on him. That's typical South London football, mate. Get on his touch, get on his first touch, get on his second touch, win that ball. That's how they play it down here. So they did it. So yeah, you got to be sharper, boys. You can't. This is no stroll in the park. You got to be sharper. Alexandre Lacazette.
Yeah, credit where credit was due. Come on, look busy, look dangerous.
He lost weight, lost a bit of belly.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. He's got. I got a bigger one than him now. But no. Look, credit where credit was due. You know, he was rushing about, he was pressing, he was closing down. He looked dangerous. I have to say, he looked dangerous, and he got his goal. 7.
Yep. Same here. That's what I've given him. Jerome, what have you given Lacazette?
Yeah, I'd give him a 7. You know what it looked like with Lacazette? It might have been he came on in the Brighton game, I think. And what it looked like, he came on and it looked like in that week, you know, that programme 10 years younger. It looked like he'd gone on that programme 10 years younger. They'd given him some new clobber. They'd give him a new haircut. Mate. That shaved his beard, and he looked like he was 20 or something.
He had a barrel. He definitely had a barrel when he came. I don't think it was against. It was against Brighton. It might have been in the cup game where he played, and he looked like his chest was bigger, not in a good way. He looked like his belly was bigger, and he was bumbling around the pitch. It seems to have lost. Maybe it was just water weight. I'm going to put it down to that. It was water. Fluids. Fluids, Alexander. You just got to get in the steam room, kid. All right. It worked.
No, full credit where credit was due. No, did well.
Very, very, very. Mate, he came on, made a difference. As soon as Lacazette came on, he made a difference. It was
fair play to him.
He gave a spark to Aubameyang. He was getting shots off. He looked like a threat. They were scared. And it gives me hope for the rest of the season that we have the extra option off the bench or even to start. Because whether Aubameyang was going to stay or not, he's still contracted to Arsenal, and he should still be professional and try his best until the end of the season. He should give everything, and he's trying to score goals, and he should always still be an option that we could either start or have him off the bench. It shouldn't be a case of he's out, his contract runs out at the end of the season. There's no point in playing him. There's no point in being here if that's the case. He's got to be an option. Gabriel Martinelli, Steve.
I can't remember anything he did. I remember him running down that wing a few times, but I can't remember him doing anything right. Great, sorry. And I can't remember him doing anything he did wrong. I'll give him a 5.
All right. Try Martinelli.
Yeah, he probably wasn't on long enough, but he did put a good ball into the back post when Aubameyang could have either gone for it with his head or got something on it, he just seemed to go for a goal kick. He looked lively, he looked sharp, but he was stuck out on the wing, wasn't he? And he needs to be near the goal, Martinelli.
For me, Martinelli. Do you know what with Martinelli? I don't think he's a centre forward, but I don't think he's a winger. I think he's I think he's either plays in a 2 or he plays a bit tighter in a 3. Go on.
Put you on the spot. It's very hard, and I haven't got an answer for it. Is there a player that he reminds you of in terms of like his positioning, like the type of? Because he's not. You're right. I don't think he's a centre forward. I don't think he's a winger, but I don't know what is there anyone that's been like that in the past that we can like compare him to?
No. I think he's one of them frustrating players that you buy on Football Manager or Champ Manager that's in that position, which doesn't suit your team, and it's just a bit of a pain. What I did like about Martinelli is, I think you said Jerome, he was lively. He was trying to, but I just think, Crystal Palace on that right hand side were set up to not let either Saka, Pepe or Tierney get down at left. So whoever was down there was not getting any joy tonight. Zero joy. Even the cross that we put in for that final goal, I think it was whipped in early. Like all the balls that we whipped in were all whipped in early. So yeah. Who else we got? Mikel Arteta.
Could he have played a different team?
I don't think we've got many options, have we?
Not really. Not really. Do we? See, I'm not. Again, I don't want to go on too long. We're going to 12 o'clock in a minute, but I know it's it's going to take more than this to sort of analyse Mikel Arteta. But as you say, he hasn't got the options, and I'm more someone that is more the players than him, because he knows what he's doing. He can't send the players. You can't send players out against Spurs, nearly the same team. They play like the way they did, and then come into a following game the following week and be totally different. I'm sure Arteta's not changed his whole, on the way to play football, in a few days. So the players worry me. But again, we lost the game, so I give him a 5.
We actually drew. It felt like a loss.
We lost the game. Yeah, sorry. It does feel like a loss.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
We're giving Arteta.
Yeah, I'll go with 5. Why change the habit of a lifetime down with 5s if I'm
of the most bang average score that we can give. Man of the match. Do you have an answer? Do you have a man of the match?
Ramsdale. Aaron Ramsdale.
I think I might start letting anyone give man of the matches for either team, just to give credit where credit's due.
You know what? I thought Conor Gallagher looked pretty decent, and Edouard looked good. Yeah,
Mitchell played well tonight. Left back.
I think sometimes really we moan about Arsenal, but that's not to take away from the to give credit to the other team. It's just that we're just trying to dissect the Arsenal team. But Crystal Palace were very impressive tonight. One of my favourite players that is up and coming is Conor Gallagher. I've spoken about him a lot previously, and I thought he was very good tonight. It seems that Vieira's pushed him up a bit further, so he's got that sort of tenacity further forward. He's got that pressing game. I thought he was very good tonight. So he's going to be my man of the match, Conor Gallagher. Cool. All right. Thank you very much. Let's see what Johnny said. He's always got something good to say. We have players with potential, but players with potential are not what is needed at the moment. Consistency is the problem. We don't have the quality in the squad. Yeah, no, I think we said that many times. We need players for the here and now, and those players that are going to be the potential as well. So then players that are going to be that are potential have players to learn off, and then there's competition. Sometimes I just think it's too easy at Arsenal because it just lacks that competition everywhere across the pitch. All right, as Steve said, we need to cut this off. Otherwise, we will be here till 12 o'clock dissecting Arsenal's games. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Steve.
Yeah, cheers, Kieron. Thanks very much.
And thank you very much for joining us tonight, Jerome.
Yeah, pleasure.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight, people. Glenn Cook, Glenn 10. I'm going to call you Glenn 10. It's just Glenn 10. Kiddo, I'm going to call you Kiddo Taylor Hart, Arsenal player coming through. Facebook user, I see that was Fred Bond. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Fred. Come over to YouTube, yeah? Got a big show tomorrow. I'm going to tell you about it in a second. Prakita, it's a new name. I'm hopefully when I check the numbers, I'm seeing another subscriber added to that tally. And Johnny, the regular, thank you very much for joining us tonight, Johnny. I see you've transferred from Facebook. Johnny was previously a Facebook member. He still is, but now he's joined us in KS1 TV on YouTube. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it, Johnny. And tomorrow night, a star-studded event. It is the Manchester United Liverpool preview. I know I'm saying this on the Arsenal show, but look, I know you Arsenal fans are just football fans in general, yeah? Because we've got Emil Heskey on tomorrow's show. Live, 7 o'clock on KS1 TV. You can catch Kieron Stewart, doing the Man United preview. And good night, people. No, I'm joking. It's Emil Heskey and Nathan Ellerton going toe-to-toe. Man United versus Liverpool in a Liverpool versus Man United preview. It's going to be an absolute great show, people. Make sure you join us. Get in live. Get your comments in. Have your questions ready for Emil. I don't know how much we're going to be able to fit in that 20 to 25 minutes. I'm going to stretch it out as long as I can. But yeah, make sure you join us tomorrow. Hit that like and subscribe. Hit that bell button so you don't miss a thing. All right. On that note, peace out. Stay safe. Come on, Arsenal.